Hello everyone and welcome back to Mix TV mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. In this video I want to show you a neat trick to create exciting ambient on vocals and help you give the vocal the so hard to achieve depth. A trick that I may or may not have stolen from a very well-known engineer, but as usual I put my spin on it and now I'm gonna show you what did I do with this track. The lead vocals in this song has an extremely complex chain of effects where each one does very little, but the combination of all of them gave me the wide and deep sound stage that I wanted for this mix without making the vocals sound like complete mush, which is very common when you use a lot of reverbs and delays. This is not a finished mix, so take this into account, but is advanced enough to sound decent and for me to use it for the purpose of this video. In this song we have a lead female vocal and some harmonies, double tracked left and right, and an adlib track. Originally I wanted to use this trick that I'm about to show you only for the harmonies, but when I was finished setting it up I liked it so much that I decided to use for all the vocals that I had, although sending them at different levels. The lead vocals already had its own ambient, reverb and delays, and it would sounded okay, but this trick definitely took it to another level. Let's hear a snip of the mix first and then we'll see the effects.
My mind postpone itself, no I lean on always. Your mind postpone itself, no I lean on always. Your mind postpone itself, no I lean on always. The birds flowering next to the hall, they're way down looking. Oh, the trees go where the wind comes. You sit all in a field. There's not me, I'm here with. I tear out pieces of balance, so let me perpetually make my head yours. You're inside my head. You're inside my head. You're inside my stories of love. What can I understand if you say that I'm home myself? I found I seen in the last love.
So that was the mix. It's not finished like I said, but it's decent enough to be used in this tutorial. Let's take a look at what we have. We have a lead vocal track, adlib track, and two harmonies, two performances left and right. Now I have, like I said, a bunch of effects on vocals and maybe I'll show you them later. So if you're interested in all the effect that I have on the vocals, you can keep watching the video. But let's get to the trick of the day, which are these two auxes right here. With the lead vocal, they sound like this.
No, I lean always. The birds flowering next to the hall, they're way down looking. Oh, the trees go where the wind calls.
So let's see, what did I do? We have two delays. One in 16th note and one in 8th note. But one side of the 16th is a little late or early compared to the other that is perfectly on grid. And the same goes for the 8th notes. One side of the 8th note is a little early or late compared to the other side, which is perfectly on grid. And the other trick is this. The 16 notes are brighter and the 8th notes are darker. Now you can set this up in different ways. The way I did it is a little more complicated because I wanted more control, But you can set it up in two ways. The easy way would be to put a stereo delay on the delay 16th note bus and delay one side and leave that bright. And on the other bus, the delay 8, you do the same. You put one side on grid and you make the other side a little late. Of course, you need dual mono plugins to do this. The way I did it is a little more convoluted, but I wanted a little more control. The delay 8 bus sees a dual mono instance of the H delay that has 1/8 note on the L channel and 1/16 note on the R channel. As you can see from the filter, the 16th are brighter and the 8 are darker. Then I did the same. I copied these delay on the delay 16 channel, and instead of let it sync to the host, I went on milliseconds and adjusted the milliseconds to be a little early or a little late compared to this other delay. But the same concept applies. The 16 note on the L channel are brighter, and in this case, the 8th note on the R channel are darker. Are you following me? One side has bright 16 note perfectly on bar. One side has bright not perfectly on bar 16 note. The other side has perfectly on bar 8 note dark and not perfectly on bar 8 note still dark. This is the result. And this is with the lead vocal.
No, I lean all the ways the burst, flowing next to the other way down looking.
The way you set the second delay, the one that has to be not perfectly on bar, is pretty simple. You copy the one that is synced to the host in the other bus, and you end up like this. Then you switch to millisecond and move it around just a bit. Same goes for the other channel, okay? You go from 16 synced, you move it to whatever you want.
No, I lean all the way.
And you have it. Now, one thing that I did, and I pretty much always do with delays, is to add a little bit of reverb to the delay, because I don't like dry delays for most genres. So let's hear just the delays.
No, I lean all the ways the burst, flowing next to the other way down.
I'm not trying to create repetitions here. I'm trying to create an ambient. So the reverb on this delay really gives the vocal space, as opposed to have the repetition, the delays, right there where the vocal is.
No, I lean all the ways the burst, flowing next to the other way down.
Now is a room. Let's hear it with the vocal.
No, I lean all the ways the burst, flowing next to the other way down looking. Oh, that's
Without the reverb.
no, I lean all the ways the burst, flowing next to the other way down looking. Oh, that's
Okay, a lot more subtle and a lot more glued together. Now, the interesting thing is also that, like I said, I originally set these two delays up for the harmonies. So the harmonies are sharing this effect with the vocal. Let's hear it. Let's mute the lead. So originally I just wanted to use these two delays for the harmonies, but then I liked it and used them for everything. Let's hear the harmonies with these on.
my mind postpone itself. No, I lean on the ways to burst, flowing next to the other without looking. All the trees go.
Without.
My mind postpone itself. No, I lean on the ways to burst, flowing next to the other without looking.
With the lead vocal and everything.
My mind postpone itself. No, I lean on the ways the burst, flowing next to the other way down looking. All the trees.
Without the delays.
My mind postpone itself. No, I lean on the ways the burst, flower next to the other way down looking. All the trees go where the wind calls.
So this was the trick of the day. Again, 2 different delays, 16 notes, 8 notes. One side for each is not perfectly on grid. The 8 notes are darker, the 16 notes are brighter. And adjust the taste, and if you want, do as I did and add a little bit of reverb. And if you're interested, keep watching, because I'm gonna show you all the other effects that I have on these vocals, because like I said, this song has a very complex effect matrix, but it sounds pretty natural because each and every one is doing very little, and there's a lot of automation, so some of them mute and unmute during the course of the song. And for example, the 2 delays that I show you don't come in until the music starts.
My mind postpone itself.
As you can see, they're not
No,
going right now.
Ways. Your mind postpone itself. No, I lean on the ways. Your mind postpone itself. No, I lean.
And they come in when the harmonies and the music come in. So let's take a look at the other effect on the lead vocal.